You were talking about big tech companies and startups.
Yeah. So when you're working at a big tech company, so some companies might have achieved like that sort of place where you are allowed to be flexible. But mostly, in my understanding, it is key whenever there's a problem, your manager will come and tell you, hey, this is the problem. Here's the solution. You do either A or B. That's it. And if you go and tell them, hey, should I do C or D? That is going to take another time. Like if it depends, it again depends on your manager. If your manager says, "No,
Exactly.
just do A and B and just get it done," what's the point, man? If you have a better solution, you're still sticking to what they are saying. You literally
Like the
have that
scope
thing.
is
Sorry.
like the scope is less for innovation.
Yeah, scope is less for innovation, and if your manager likes the idea, and then still to get that idea then he will go have to ask his manager, then there's some paperwork, hey, make a presentation and present it to like all these people and do this, do that, and at the end your idea might just be handed over to some other person,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's not how it works at a startup. Like honestly, startups are messy in the sense because there are less people working on such an ambitious project, and there are so many problems which come into the picture. There are so many things to solve, so many things to straighten out or something. Here complete ownership is required. That is the key term here, complete ownership, which means there's a problem, you take that problem, create a solution, whatever you feel is the best, have one quick discussion with the person you're working with. Yeah, I think this is how we can do it. That person might give their own honest feedback and all, and you can make some tweaks and all, but no like constant reviews ki har mahine isko change karo and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
You have an idea, come
And
up with a solution, give discuss it with your folks, and done. Implement it. If it works, you are recognized for that idea, and if it doesn't work, then you are responsible for the problem. Solve it again.
right, right. And what
So
about like learning wise and salary wise? Like in these both, if we compare startup and big tech companies, what about that? Learning and salary.
learning, obviously startups will give you more learning. Like my job description currently just wants me to work with community and some things of operations, but I am doing more things than that. I'm like, not only I'm doing community means like I have to engage, I have to like make sure that whatever we are doing works best for the builders who are a part of us, of our community, help onboard hackathons, help organize hackathons. So it's not just that. In operations, I get to look into operations, which means that internal working of the company, it has to be automated. Automated, why? Because you don't have like 10,000 people working under you in one department who can just go through each and every Excel sheet column and write something over there. You need to write code over there. You have to make sure it's automated. It happens by itself without any errors. So that is the thing I work on. I've also worked with the product, understanding like getting feedback from the user and understanding, hey, like I think this thing we should do it better. I discuss it with the design team, with the engineering team, check the feasibility and make sure like that feature is shipped. We will spend
Right.
more time into creating the idea, because implementing an idea is actually easy. Coming up with the best idea is the difficult part.
Mm-hmm.
So learning, you have
Right.
more in startups because you're not restricted to one thing. You don't have your manager
Right.
saying ki aaj ke liye bas itna hai. There's no manager. I directly interact with my CEO. It doesn't even feel like he's a CEO. He's like, responsibilities are there of a CEO, but he's more of a friend. We like to discuss
Right.
about what things we can do with the company and other things. और ये सब चाय पे डिस्कस करते हैं हम लोग आराम से टपरी पे चाय पी रहे हैं हम लोग. It's that kind of a culture, right?
Right. And
Do you
don't
get to
stuck
talk?
at a-
Do you get to talk to the CEO of Infosys if you're working at Infosys? No.
Oh, no.
You want something to change on a company level, whom you're going to approach? You can't do anything
Exactly.
about it. Being in a startup,
Right.
you have that flexibility. You have that power of voice because even you're putting that many efforts into building the company.
No,
And salary, obviously, salary will be easier to get if you're in a big tech company. It's given. It gives you more benefits rather than salary. So even if I have a lesser salary than, let's say, a bigger tech company, I have a Mac with me. They give me the best monitors and everything. Everything is provided by the company. They make sure that the tools you have to work is, the best. So that's my
Right.
requirement, right? I wanted my basic living to be made, and like I have the best gear with me. So
Right.
and one more thing. So if you're talking about salary, so if you're working in again like a big tech giant, so suppose you're putting in tireless amount of hours into the work, you still have to wait for
Exactly.
1 year for that yearly promotion, and like giving a separate interview for that promotion. Why do you have to interview if you have already done so much work? Why do
Right.
you have to go and tell them again? They will ask you some
Right.
other question, and on the basis of those questions, they'll give you a promotion or not. Why is that the case?
Mhm.
You're working at
Recently,
Defolio? Yeah.
yeah, recently when I was talking to a bhaiya, he also works at a like big tech company, and I was talking to him like how are the equipments and all that you use, the laptops and all that you use. So he was also saying the same thing that you said. Whenever like let's say they have to do some changes in the laptop or they have to update something, then like that is the process is not easy. You have to submit papers, you have to talk to the higher officials, and that takes a lot of time. But over here, like you can, as you said, the CEO is like a type of friend to you, so you can directly interact and tell your requirements to them.
No, but
Yeah,
in
I don't even have to submit a letter. I just message him on Slack. I DM him on Slack. And, they're that helpful. That the best opportunity with startups is the people you work with are actually your friends.
Right.
Working with friends is better than working with colleagues.
no, but in
Right.
starting you
And
doesn't
even
get no, but in starting you
Sorry?
doesn't get scared about like you are joining a startup after leaving a good CTC
Uh-huh.
package.
Uh-huh.
Like in starting the startup doesn't pay you because
Not necessarily. It depends on the stage of the startup. It
yes,
depends on the stage of the startup. So, like
so
in my understanding, I see there are three stages of a startup. One is very early age, where you actually have to bring something to do. People are working without pay. All right. Second stage is where you have enough income, but now you have to expand, get more people, do more things, and that is the toughest part. Not toughest, but say like that is one of the challenges
yes,
of
that's
scaling
right.
because you need more people.
yes,
You have the money, you need more people. And the third is when you're comfortably doing things. Now you know everything is figured out. Ki how do we expand?
yes,
So I am currently working in the second stage. Like I'm in the beginning of the second stage where we are starting to expand and everything. All right.
Right.
So here, I like honestly what package I was getting earlier at Cognizant, the company I was selected for, that was giving
Mhm.
me twice the salary what Defolio initially offered me.
great,
All right.
Mhm.
But I still went for Defolio because I knew the experience matters. Making one more statement here. So Cognizant was offering me twice than what Defolio was offering me. But
Mhm.
the efforts I put, it got recognized. I got so much experience out of it. I also was approached by some other company for the same role with a better package, but I didn't take it because
yes,
Yes,
I understood working with them got me that just by
that's
working with them.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
right now, I think it has been 7 to 8 months working with Devfolio. And what I got initially, now I'm earning three times that salary.
Exactly. This was exactly
I
what.
didn't have to wait for a year. I didn't have to wait for a year to get my salary revised or something like that.
Right. This
I
is
didn't
what
have
my
to wait
next
for
point.
that. Exactly.
Yeah, this was my next point. I was just going to talk about it. That it's not just about the salary. Once you start learning and you start like learning new skills, then your
Mhm.
value increases, and according to that value, you can even get a higher package. Like a lot of people, once they get into a company, they just think that okay, this is my future. Now I just have to work
Mhm.
at this company. But that should
Exactly.
not be followed, right? Like as you did,
Yeah.
once you get into a company, that is the beginning. That's not the end. Over there, you keep on learning, you keep on enhancing your skills, and you keep on building. Like I know a lot
Exactly.
of people. I know a lot of uncle and or relative who started off with a very low company and now they are working at some great companies.
Yeah.
So
See, if I would have been like money minded and wanted कि नहीं मुझे ज़्यादा package चाहिए, I would have taken that offer from my college placement, and I would still be earning the same and doing something which doesn't even matter.
right, and you wouldn't have even
And
learned anything that you have learned over here.
Exactly. And with Devfolio, what I was getting earlier, now I'm getting more than that, like even more than
Right.
Cognizant.
Right.
And it's very simple. Ki if you're doing more things, you're benefiting the company, then the company will give you more things.
Right.
The same thing to happen at the big tech company is like 2-3 months of paperwork again.
Hmm.
For me, it was just chai at a tapri with the founder. Understanding the difference, right?
Yeah.
Like how us and our audience can get a help from a devfolio platform. Can you give a brief
Okay.
intro about
Yeah.
yeah
Right. So, yeah, I mean, like, if you want to see again, like my plan, I would say is that if you're really having the FOMO, just sit for college placements, take some random company, whatever you're getting, and just keep it as a backup. कि हाँ यार pocket में एक चीज है, but do not stop exploring other things.
right
So what I've seen working with Devfolio also is that you should explore more hackathons. Not because our platform is a hackathon platform and I'm bound to say that or something. Right now on the call, I'm not representing Devfolio directly. I'm just a person who is like wanting to help people get better experience out of stuff.
Right.
So why hackathon? Because in college placements, you're writing exams. Your exam ke marks are defining you. In hackathons, what you build, what you know how to build, the projects you're doing is what defines you, which actually makes sense. Rather than writing some exam जिसके लिए तुम एक रात पहले पढ़े हो and then next day you forget after writing the paper. What's the point?